Okay, we're recording. Good evening, everybody. It is indeed 7 p.m. Welcome, and it's nice to have you all on. Thank you for being here. I did make some notes, and I will go through them. I'm just trying to organize how I get my video to share where it is me, if you know what I mean. There it is. I can see me now. So hopefully that's what's going to record. I can't make it any bigger than that, because if I do this, then it shows somebody else. There's our Judy. If I do it now, no, not on. Yeah, there's me. That'll have to do, everybody. We've got a me, and I was asked to put my ugly mug on the screen there. So there it is. Thanks, Mary. I know you guys can see me, but I couldn't get it to work on the recording. So there we are. And I've blown 50 seconds doing that, but it is what it is. And we're on now. So there's me face. And welcome. Thanks, Mary. So I've made some notes. I'll go through the notes. We've got the BRB shown on screen there, titled because my little girl named it. It's the Bollinger Ribbon Bands, but she said BRB while I was busy building it, and then she ran off and apparently be right back. Okay, well, that shows you price. It goes through a line, it can't come back, so be right back is kind of appropriate for that strategy, if you know what I mean. Today then, I'm just checking the list because there was somebody I was hoping would be on and he's not. So hopefully he watches the recording because he'd benefit from this. But you know, you prep stuff, you hope someone will be there and will learn from it. And then they're not, what can you do? You can lead the horse to water, you can't make it drink. Hi Henry, good to see you on. So today, everybody, I have some notes prepared around comparisons and expectations. We all make them, we all have them. We all spend time comparing things we have with things we want. I think many people do anyway. Traders are no different, but they compare themselves to the heroes they watch on YouTube, to the AI generated nonsense out there, or to someone who's worked in the field for a long time and has a wealth of experience already. Some people in the group are comparing themselves to the likes of me. I know Claude, he's on. People compare themselves to Claude. He's one of the people who went very pro. You quit working not so long ago. I think you were the last one to do it, Claude, if I remember rightly. But anyway, you know, that happens and then people say, oh, it can't be done. Well, there you go. It's being done. Anyway, yes, you compare yourselves to some hero you're watching on YouTube or someone with a wealth of experience. The race, though, is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. I asked one of our members on Thursday last week during the morning DAX session if he'd be prepared to show up and confirm the amount of backtesting data he gathered. He agreed, and he might yet unmute and simply confirm the very positive results. He did indeed share them with me. And yes, positive of course, only if you're going to follow the process, the rules and the necessary discipline in the guidance offered within our group and in the live sessions. The sessions allow another level of understanding, a whole extra way of getting your daily target. Comparisons though show and tell me that very often your daily target is not enough. You saw fit to write down in your daily trading plan a target and you have it and it's there and you have it fixed and set in your business plan. Maybe you don't. The point is you have a target. You also have a maximum allowed or allowable loss. Now I read comments on there, thankfully on our partners website, Trade Echo. You know, I read comments there about someone who has a stop loss, then he moves or deletes it, and then when it's hit, even after he's moved it, he loses the plot and loses the head and goes ape and goes chasing it and stuff. Well, yeah, that's going to go well. Of course it is, you know. So yeah, maybe you don't. All too often, traders carry on long after a target is reached, or worse, after a maximum stop level is breached. Some go wild and totally lose the plot once something like that happens. Then they quickly search for something or someone to blame. Some even go on to assume, and I say that, yes, and he does, but they're not privy to your ponderings. Your ponderings are bloody brilliant, by the way. Assume, the word assume, let's break it down. It makes an ass out of you and me. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, some go on to assume that because they made stupid decisions, that everyone else must be making them too. And yes, some are. But you are a diminishing minority now within this group, and we are working towards your extinction. And that doesn't mean we want to kick you out. We just want to make you stop doing the dumbass stuff that you're doing that is forcing you to lose. We have rules. This is the BRB. And even that basic, simple strategy right there, look, we're below the line. That's red, that's up. There's a sell signal. I'm going to say it's a 28.8. Down there, there's a 760. There's 40 pips in that, and they're all red bars all the way down to your 40 pips. Do we have rules? Yes, we have them. Will you follow them? Well, most of you will. Yes, most of you will. But there's at least one, and I could name, that isn't and won't. And he won't because it's a mindset thing. He knows better. He's so much better at this than, I don't know. He's got an opinion is what it is. And we have the Tao of trading, don't we? There's nothing Buddhist or whatever the word is. It's take away opinion. That's what it is. Anyway, working towards your extinction. These are things that need an answer. You need to answer those things for yourself. Why am I doing this? To myself. It's a question you've got to ask. It's a question you've got to answer. And if you can't answer it, you should never have gone off of demo. You should still be on demo until you can answer that question. Where was I? Yes. They need an answer. Your questions. How long does it take to become profitable? I said it in one of these things on here before. 90 seconds, 90 minutes, 90 days, 90 weeks. It depends on you. When will you realize that there's a process to follow? When will you follow it? Because those are two different questions right there. Now, I don't think you'll take 90 years, Robert. I think you're well up there. You're taking on board all the things that I say to you. Every time we have a meeting, you get a little bit better, and then you post me a result and it's a little bit better. You're making that 1% adjustment. It might not be a day, but it is a week, and you're doing all right. 1% a week, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. You're welcome. Where was I? Yeah, they need an answer, those things. How many others in the group are already profitable is being asked. None of those questions are important nor significant to me, and more importantly, they shouldn't be significant to you, the asker. You need ask and answer for yourselves as individuals. When will I learn to follow the process? When will I understand there are times when the process carries higher risk? At the market open, for example, or during bigger news. We know those things, though, and yet we fail to take them into account. And I say we in the sort of royal sense of the word, because I mean you, because I do it. You've all seen me doing it in the sessions. You know, I follow the rules. I dictate the rules. And if I'm looking for a long and the price falls off of the planet, I say, I'm late now, I can't touch that. That would be breaking my rules. That's honest and it's fair, and it means it doesn't cost me any pips. It just means I'm not making any. I'm not losing any though, am I? Could you share one success story with us every Monday? I can, yes, probably. But remember, they don't all share them with me. There are several on here, and I'm looking through the list. I'm going to count down the list. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to give you a 9, 10, 11, and then there's a few names I don't know. So half of the people on here, they're doing all right, you know. There's only 20. I don't know why there's only 20 of you on, but it is what it is, you know. We are who we are, and hopefully you'll watch the recording if you didn't see it live. Where was I? Yes, market open. We fail to take those things into account. We allow an absence of a duty of care to ourselves, deleting stop orders, overtrading and chasing losses, revenge trading. We allow comparison of others. doing their own thing to cloud our own goals. And that brings me right back to you, Anne, with that latest one of, when you're in a session and someone says, oh, GBP USD, we weren't looking at that, but they put something, and you go off, well, not you, certainly not you, but some weaker minded people attempted to go off and look at the other market instead of focusing on their own process. Paul's written that beautifully. People have to put the grind in and have a trading plan. Have a plan, follow the plan, stick to the plan, trade the plan. That's it. So yeah, we allow sometimes others to trade, to cloud our own goals and have us trying to follow their path. In times gone by, I traded for myself outside of the sessions, but I traded with the same focus and discipline. I avoided bigger news releases, as we still do now. When will you become a successful trader? When you start enforcing more discipline in yourself, you're there. I'm reminded of a one-to-one educational clinic-y type thing with one person some 11 years ago. And Mary, you know this gentleman because he was on the same course as you all those years ago. But it was about 11 or 12 years ago, and he and I had a one-to-one. And the conversation went like this. He said, I followed all of the rules, but I took a loss. It was a small loss. Then I diligently took another trade and I took another small loss. And we were looking at the chart together like this. Imagine we're looking at this chart right now and he'd taken a loss and taken a loss. There isn't two losses on it. Oh yeah, I went short here and I took a loss. I went short there and I took a loss. Let's say that that's real. It's not a hopper. It's not a hopper. So it's not there. They're neither of them valid. Oh yeah, maybe there. I went short here and I took a loss because look at that. But then, anyway, let's say that somewhere on there are two losses back to back. And they were indeed quite small. And we were looking at the chart together and I asked him what about that next signal there? Did you not take that? And his response was gold. He said, well, I didn't think it would be any different to the last two. Now, where's me notes? Because I took this from serious memory. Well, he said, I didn't think it would be any different to the previous two. Indignantly spoken, he said. The rule of consistency, doesn't go away because you think, I said. Had you taken that one, and we could both see it was different, as it did have the hopper, it's like this, a full-on line crossing over hopper. Had you taken that one, both it was a hopper, whilst the previous two were only RTFs, he would have made back the two losses and gained daily target. So there is logic and reason in our rules. There is reason for our process. There is reason for our consistency approach. And there are rules regarding discipline. If you don't yet know them all, why are you trading live funds? If you don't know the rules, why have you gone live? It's part of the homework. It is written in the homework. It absolutely is. If we read Anne's Saturday ponderings, there you go, Anne. If we read your Saturday ponderings of July 11th, and no, I'm not going to. FOMO, fear of missing out, at the bus stop really says it well. It really does. It's absolutely brilliant. There you go. Mary remembers it. Thanks for that, Mary. Appreciate it. Yeah, they are. Anne's very clever. That's just so clever, Anne, the way you write them. I've saved every single one. I did. And it was only when I read the second one that I thought, that's actually very special. Let me scroll back to the first one, copy, paste, and I've saved them all since. I could show you that I've got them all, literally. And sometimes when I read them out, it's copied into the day's notes and I've saved it still in my little, special section there, Now, how about a look at one of our simple strategies, that's this one, with some real talk between traders. No specifics, please, about the indicators that we use outside of this kind of thing or the settings therein, but some open mindset discussion is invited and is welcome. You all know it can be done because we keep doing it in the live sessions together. We've yet to have our bottoms handed to us, haven't we? This week is Who Are You? Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's not the one that's on from Saturday. That's the one coming, is it? because Saturdays. No, it's on, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Well, let me see. See, I'm only scrolling down a Word document. That's the 11th, FOMO at the bus stop. And then, who are you? Got it. I'm walking to the post office later to post a present. Lovely. I have saved it, and I do love it. You're very clever with those, and you really are brilliant. So anyway, we've got a really simple strategy on here. It is the BRB. It's got Bollinger Bands and an EMA. This red green line is an EMA. You all know, you that's on this and you that are in the group and watching the recordings, know what the invisible indicator is there. And yeah, I'll put it back on at some stage, but not for the recording. No, thank you. If we look at the basic simplicity of it, the rules all still apply. The divergence, the rejection of a line. We've got higher lows, lower lows, divergence within the indicator, lower lows on price, higher lows on a histogram, rejection of a line. Well, we can't quite make 28.8 there. And I guarantee you, if we looked at this on one of the other strategies where the higher value EMAs are on, it'd be there. So whether or which you took a sell down here, it's at 60 or so, goes through 40, comes back, there's maybe 20 pips in that. And then there's a buy signal right there. It is a hopper combo. We're looking at about 28.860 over here to get in, and if we look, there's a 28.9, there's 40 pips in there. So just in that little bit, there's 60 pips. Then you've got a pivot with a convergence, higher lows, tweezer bottoms, rejection of a line, and basically a bullish bar breaking out above. We've rejected the line very clearly. We've gone back above green, so you could re-enter there. Let's say it's a 28.9, and then you've got a 960 up here, so there's another 60 pips there. So in just that sort of 30-minute gap between 16.50 and 17.20, there is 100 pips. This is called BRB, Robert. I did mention it's Bollinger Ribbon Band, and it's uploaded on babypips.com. It was on Forex Strategies Revealed, but that seems to have gone. And it's also in our chat. If you just scroll through the documents in the chat, you'll find the Word document with the details on it there. So it's all right there. And if you next week on our one-to-one, actually won't be next week because I'm away on holiday. I'm only in for Tuesday next week, and then we're away. We're taking a holiday. But I did share it in the schedule, so you should see that. But notwithstanding that, Robert, when I get back, we'll make time one-to-one. If you want to look at this, I always recommend that if you're battling at all, to help you take away opinion, we should always, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't say it to be demeaning, if that's the word, or insulting, dumb it down. I dumb things down so that I understand them. I really do. And that means cut down the trees. Yes, keep it simple. Cut down the trees so that you can see the wood. The buy it, sell it, BISI 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5, I think there is at this stage. That's a fantastically simple strategy. And one of our members, he's not on here at the minute, Judy, or I'd get him to pipe up pretty quick sharp. He's massively done away with, what those funded accounts you guys like? He's battered them. I don't think there's anyone else who'll take him on, I'm not sure. But he's doing really well with these funded accounts anyway. And he always gives me great feedback from them. And that's just using the basic buy it, sell it. We can always do that with any of our strategies. We can tweak down. We can cut down some of the... All you got to do is hit the visible line there and say, I can't see it anymore. It's not important anymore. Are you with me? You hide things. Cut it down so that it looks more clear and more simple for you. Easier to observe. Notwithstanding that, you're looking for a cross at the top and a cross at the bottom. Most of my strategies are based on the original double cross. One at the bottom, one at the top. And yes, we've got the TSI that might give you the third. Yes, we've got other indicators that might predict that it's coming. And we like that. How could you not want to know what's coming? So we have those indicators on our major T2B2 and other, we've got all these tabs open at the top here. It's largely for different time frames. That's the long range, that's the 4-hour stuff. There's different time frames on there. There's a 6 screen up there. There's different markets in the mix. There's some currencies on there. So there's a lot of reasons to have those tabs up there. And then the very end one is the one that I'm usually happy to share with everybody, especially like the absolute YouTube stuff all over the place. Has anyone any questions on the mindset required or on the BRB? Obviously not indicator specific, because I won't put the settings on YouTube. It is available on the one I'm prepared to share is available on babypips.com under my username in the forum. It's J Leone, but J spelled J-A-E, and then my surname Leone. Any good for you? Otherwise, we're 20 minutes into the recording. I'll end the recording so that we can keep it short and get it uploaded. But I've said all that I need to. There will still be a session this day week in the evening. Even we only arrive back in, on that day, if you like, from holidays. It is just such nice weather here at the minute that it's nice to be taking some holidays. We are making preparations for extended sessions the last week, maybe even the last 2 weeks of August. And you all know what I think about the last week or the last 2 weeks of August. Let's just have a look at that, what's happening at the minute. I see this line moving up and down, so I've got to know. Bands have squished in. Yes, there was a sell signal. No, it's not a hopper. What would that require? Someone give me the 3 letters. That means you're in, but with. Anyone? I'm checking you're awake, really. Fob. Nice one. Thanks, Kuda. Thank you. Everyone's saying it. Fob. Finger on the button. Absolutely. So you can take that sell. It is below the line, but with finger on the button. And yeah, once we've been outside, so you'd had a chance to take some pips there. I'll use this counter because it doesn't give away my indicators over there. We put him on, you'd have had an entry at 8.26, not the time, the value. And as at around about now, 12 pips. Okay, so maybe you've taken 10 already, maybe not. Neither here nor there. It's only hopping now, so if you manage to hold it through there, you're still targeting a big round number at 28.8. If we get into the 0 digits, like an 0.67 or so, then you can go and drop your target down to 760. But there does look to be some divergence with a higher low and a lower low. So it'd want to be with a finger on button. If we don't go through 800, you'd lock something in at or about wherever that darker line is there. And TTFP. Take the freaking pips. Now you've gone below 28.8. If it comes back, TTFP, and you're happy with your pips. If it doesn't come back, your next target down is 28.760. Look, everybody, that's what discipline looks like. And that's the same. There you go, you'd be out. That's the same stuff I've been banging on about since you've been joining me in these sessions. Some of you for, 10, 12 years by now, But there it is. You're out. Don't care what happens next. If it drops 200 pips, I don't care. I got mine. That's what I care about. You with me? There you go. Judy took some while listening. I hope you got your daily target, Judy. Did you? Because you deserve it for taking them while you were listening in. Well done. Did you get your daily target? Go on, make my day. Yes, well done. Thank you, Judy. Made up. You've made me day. Alrighty, I'm going to end the recording. And then if you do have any other questions, I'll ask you that after. But for now, I'm going to say thank you all for watching. I appreciate you being here. Please trade safe. And if you're in the live sessions, I'll see you in the morning. Thank you. Bye-bye.